Welcome to the CIU Sports Network for this NCCAA contest between Columbia International University and Bob Jones University. I'm Gordy Frierson, joined by Corbett Cowlett. Corbett, obviously CIU done well against NCCAA teams so far this year, as that is Riley Ramsey, who will start the game off with a double for Bob Jones.
Yeah, between the two teams, I would definitely say they're trying to find their groove. Bob Jones is coming in here without a win so far, 0-7 overall and 0-3 in their conference, I believe. And CIU just coming off of an 0-3 against Tennessee Wesleyan this past weekend. So they're both trying to find their groove right now.
Yeah, definitely a different strength and schedule for sure between these two teams, as CIU has played some of the best teams in the NAIA to start the season. One common opponent between both of these squads is Milligan University, who CIU took on in a series last weekend. And the Rams fell 0-3 to them. And Milligan also defeated Bob Jones 2-0 in their series with the Bruins. So 1-2 count here with Tyler Parker starting on the mound, Tyler Parker starting on the mound for CIU. And he'll get his first strikeout of the game, as the Rams have, Bob Jones, the runner on second after that double that started the contest. 1 out now here in the top of the first inning. And Cole Pearson is hit by that pitch, and he will get on base. Corbett, what do you think maybe is key here for Parker on the mound starting off for the Bruins?
Well, I'm thinking as of right now, he shouldn't let that ball really get into his head, getting that guy on first base. You heard some of his teammates kind of moaning in the field. He didn't really do much to get out of the way, but he just has to start finding his groove, throw some more strikes. He's got 2 people on base with only 1 out so far, so hopefully he can regain some confidence and start out a little hotter.
That's a good hit. That's going way back there. Caught, but may advance a runner, and it will. So the fly out to right field, and a runner on second advances around to third, as runner on first stays put. So runners in the corners now, 2 outs, as Garcina up to bat now for the Bruins. Going to be Barcina up to bat now for Bob Jones University.
A little on the senior Tyler Parker for his season so far. He's pitched through 17 innings. He's given up 24 hits, and he has 14 strikeouts.
There's a strike there. 1-1 count now. 2 outs on the board for CIU. And strike number 2. So Parker looking to get out of this inning without giving up any runs and picking up his second strikeout if he can get one down the middle of the plate here. That's a little outside for ball 2. That's hit on the ground, and the fielder's choice will end the inning, or end the side. We'll be back in just a minute on the CIU Sports Network. Back here on the CIU Sports Network, Corbett, Rams coming up to bat. What are you looking for out of this lineup for CIU?
Well, starting out with Carter up at the dish right now, I definitely haven't been slow to say he's all reliable. He has a pretty excellent record up at the plate, and as we know, he's an outstanding outfielder. So just got to start off hot. They got away with one in their last inning, not giving up any runs, having somebody at third base.
So Willis trying to play some games there, as that out will just be made by the first baseman. So 2 outs on the board here early in the bottom of the second. Just 2 batters up, 2 down. 0-1 count right now, 1-1 now after that pitch. This is Bodison up at bat for CIU. Bodison, one of those heavy hitters for the Rams. That one fouled off the bathroom trailer behind us.
Bodison coming into this game has 57 at-bats with a batting average of .246.
That's outside for ball 2, so 2-2 count now.
Anxious to see what Bob Jones has coming out of their arm barn. The stats only show that Jerry Dunwoody has only pitched 8 innings.
And that'll be a fly out to right field to end the inning with this game scoreless here at Miller Field. We'll be back in just a minute here on the CIU Sports Network. That is hit high into the air and caught by Parker. So that'll be a pop out to start the second inning for the Bruins. As both teams, Corbett, so far struggling to get something going, though the Bruins did start the first inning with a Riley Ramsey double.
Yeah, they definitely started with the momentum, but, I mean, the pitch count between both teams combined is sitting at 19, and there just hasn't been a whole lot of action yet. I'm looking forward to seeing CIU get some more players on bases because they made contact with the ball almost every time they swung the bat. So
that'll be the second hit by pitch of the game so far as Parker sends Williams over to first after beaming him in the shoulder. Both these teams certainly looking for momentum, maybe not starting the year the way they had hoped. What do you think they have to do offensively, maybe to change that up a little bit?
Offensively, honestly, I saw a lot of promise out of CIU's offense this past weekend, but I definitely think there's still more room for growth. But it's just a matter of not having to play the top 10 teams every single week. It's just a very hard feat to accomplish.
Right, and I think also with CIU, from a CIU perspective, so much of the focus this year is on the pitching because that was maybe the area that struggled the most last season. As there's a third strikeout of the game for Parker, so 2 outs now here in the top of the second inning. As I was saying, pitching was so much of a focus because of the struggles of last season that maybe some of the attention has been lost on that lineup, as that will be hit towards left field and caught to retire the side as the Rams keep the Bruins off of the board there in the second inning, as we will head to the bottom of the second. And back just a minute on the CIU Sports Network. Well, there's strike one against the freshman, Brenton Morris. 0-1 count here. Morris leading off for the Rams in the second inning. That's a little outside.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Morris play more in this season. He's a freshman, and he's only played 6 games, but he has 6 hits in those 6 games and a batting average of .273, and most of his balls that he's hitting that he's not making it on base, he's hitting it close to the fence, so I really think he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, Moore's definitely a guy that made a big splash in that Milligan series when some other people were struggling. didn't have a eye-popping week last week in those 5 home games, but definitely a guy to keep an eye on this season for CIU. 2-2 count now. As Ward Hacklin is up next for the Rams. That is sent well deep, and that's gone. So just as we talked about, Morris gets his first homer at Miller Field over the right field fence. Rams go up 1-0.
He was no doubt due for one. He's been swinging for the fences all season. He definitely earned this one. Lots of applause from the crowd.
So good job, Brendan Morris. Obviously, these 5 p.m. on a Tuesday games aren't going to get as much of a crowd as maybe Saturday games will, but the crowd here at Miller Field certainly appreciating showing from the freshman. Hacklin turns his body away from that pitch. That'll be ball 1.
Hacklin looking to keep the momentum going after that freshman home run. He's batting a .280 so far on the season with 14 hits.
Yeah, once you get into the meat of this Rams lineup, that's when they can really start to get things going. As 1-2 count now. See if Dunwoody can recover from that home run for Bob Jones. Says that was low, so 2-2.
So far, Dunwoo's pitch count is only 12, and he's only given up the 1 hit so far, and that was the home run. So he's not pitching too bad.
See if the infield can help their pitcher out, and they will with the 6-3 out to put the first out on the board of the inning for Bob Jones. So Rob Bell up now for CIU. Is Josh in the lineup? Oh, yeah, he is. That's fouled off by Rob Bell, 0-1 now.
Ball looked like it might have bounced off of his leg.
Bell, a guy that you don't want to get in a rhythm at the plate if you're Bob Jones. Has a lot of power. I think Coach Johnson might say Bell has the most power of anybody on this team.
Yeah, there's no doubt his ability to hit the ball, but he is trying to find his rhythm so far in this season. His batting average is only a 191, and I know that's not up to his standards.
Yeah, I think key for Bell is to try to find those gaps in the infield, get some base hits. Not always looking for those doubles and triples and home runs, but
most definitely. Despite his lower batting average, he's still tied for the most home runs on the squad, so he's no doubt effective.
And that's hit right there to second base, so out number 2 on the board. Nobody on for CIU because, again, if you're just now joining us, freshman Brendan Morris hit that solo home run early in this inning as CIU takes the 1-run lead. Alex Miller now at bat for the Rams. That'll be ball 1. Again, as you mentioned, Dunwoody having a decent 2 innings so far. Again, gave up that home run, but has done a good job against some of these other Ram heavy hitters. And that'll be popped up and dropped. So Miller will reach on the error by the second baseman. So that'll be E4 as Miller reaches first base. So the first error on the board for either team. Corbett, that was hit really high in the air, and the sun is definitely in a tough spot right now, but definitely not an error you want to see if you're Bob Jones.
I think that one was more of a mental error, more so than the sun getting in the way, because,
So Hadley is hit by the pitch, so now runners on first and second, bringing up Jan Maldonado. Maldonado had a really good series against Tennessee Wesleyan, one of the bright spots of that series for CIU.
Was that the third pitch that has made contact with the batter of this game so far?
That is the third walk or hit by pitch we've seen. Yeah, obviously the first two were by Tyler Parker of CIU. That's the first one that Dunwoody has thrown. As that is hit to center field and caught to end the inning. So the Rams get on the board first, up 1-0 on the Morris home run. So CIU leads 1-0. We'll be back in just a minute here on the CIU Sports Network. Back here at Miller Field as the Bruins will start off as Ramsey picks up his second hit of the game. Base hit there by Riley Ramsey. He started the game off with a double in the first inning and then now picks up another hit.
I'm sure Ramsey's he's probably feeling really good right now. His batting average coming into today was 160, and after these two hits back-to-back, I'm sure he's really feeling confident.
Yeah, obviously the good start for him. That's always something that you want to see out of a young guy like Ramsey. As strike two for Parker. Again, later this week, and CIU Athletics have a busy weekend here at the baseball and softball fields as softball doubleheader with Kaiser starting at 4 on Friday, and CIU baseball will start their series with one 9-inning game on Friday with Reinhardt. And then on Saturday, CIU will be back here at Miller Field hosting Reinhardt with a doubleheader starting at 1. And softball will host Tennessee Wesleyan in a doubleheader starting at 1 p.m. as well. So strikeout there for Tyler Parker.
He's feeling pretty confident about that one because he took a pretty heavy daddy hack on that one.
Colby Hogan goes down. What was that for it?
I said Tyler should be feeling really good after that one. He had that last batter daddy hacking at that ball and didn't make contact.
There's a fly out to right field. I got to learn the lingo, I guess.
You've never heard daddy hack? Oh, that's
I'll use it now as
very common in baseball.
fly out to right field as the second out on the board for Bob Jones. So Parker now trying to leave Ramsey stranded over there on first. As this is Burke batting for Bob Jones. Good job by Josh Hernandez there to keep that pitch from getting by him and not allowing a pass ball to advance the runner at first. That's outside, ball 2. So 2-1 count here. The catcher, Arcina, is on deck as the runner will go, and stolen base now for Ramsey as runner on second. Again, 2 outs, 2-2 is our count here. So this is a big pitch for Tyler Parker.
He's pitched a pretty quietly.
And that's outside.
He's pitched a quietly good game so far. He does have more strikeouts than he has hits given up, but only having 28 pitches in the top of the third, he's not doing too bad.
Yeah, definitely not too bad for Parker so far. That one fouled off.
That's exactly what this coaching staff is looking for this early in the season, is to try to get a pitching groove going.
Yeah, definitely. And I would be surprised if Parker doesn't go at least 5 innings in this game, as Coach JJ knows that got a big weekend coming up this on Friday and Saturday, so make sure to save some of those arms. Good backhand play there by Grant Bodison. The throw is not there, though, as 1 run will score on the throw. So that'll go down as a base hit for Burke, as the game, for Barcina, the catcher, as the game all tied up now at 1 run apiece. That is hit towards center field, and that is gone. So the 2-run homer for Barcina, that is Barcina. 2-run homer for Barcina. And that was Burke that picked up the RBI there. So 3-1 now, Bob Jones on top in the top of the 3rd inning.
Just how I said we had Britton Morris, who was due for a home run coming into this game. Daniel Barcina was batting a .389 and had no home runs. So I'd say he was also due for a home run.
Yeah, it's always something about those catchers, right?
Yeah.
Something about those catchers.
Just waiting for their time.
As that's strike 1. So Parker hoping to recover here. And that's strike 2. And wow, that's one of the first home runs we've seen hit over that center field wall this season, Corbett.
Yeah, he definitely got behind that one. He hit it exactly how he wanted to.
So that center field wall is about 400, so probably around 405 was that home run. That is popped up, or flied out actually, to right field to in the inning, as Bob Jones scores 3 in the top of the 3rd, as CIU trails 3-1 going into the bottom of this 3rd inning. We'll be back here in just a minute on the CIU Sports Network. So Willis advances over to second on the error out in left field. This is Josh Hernandez at the plate now for CIU.
Yeah, in games like these, you're bound to see a couple errors here and there because as of right now, Dunwoo has 29 pitches and not any strikeouts. So that indicates a lot of the field is doing most of the work to get these outs, which can be very beneficial if you're a pitcher, knowing you got those guys on your back. But it's definitely going to lead to some errors. You can't have a perfect game in the field.
As Hernandez gets a hold of that one. And that's off the wall for the stand-up double for Josh Hernandez as Carter Willis will score from second to put the score at 3-2. So good job there by Carter Willis.
Yeah, last time he got stopped before he could even make it to first base, and I think he took that one personal because he had to touch home plate on this one.
Shane Hammonds is coming into pinch run for Hernandez. There's strike one against Bottas, and Hernandez over at second after that double off the Welcome to Miller Field sign out in left field. Oh, excuse me, that's actually, again, Hammonds over there on second.
Came in as a pinch runner.
That's fouled off for strike two, so 0-2 count now against Bodison. So after the game started fairly slow, Corbett, we got the bats going for both teams here in the third inning.
Yeah, that's something that's to be expected out of CIU. I wasn't sure what to expect out of Bob Jones, but it was only a matter of time before we started getting the bats cracking.
Yeah, and CIU in good position here with a runner on second, no outs. So definitely going to try to tack on a few more if you're the Rams. CIU's first run of the game came by way of Brenton Morris last inning and a home run over the right field wall as that is hit up the gap, and so Bodison is thrown out at first. Hernandez stays, Hammonds stays at second. So one out now as Morris back up. Again, Morris hit that home run in the second inning.
I think he's trying to look for another one. I'm hoping that he's just looking for contact, but you got to be feeling confident after hitting your first home run of the year. Of the career, rather. He is a freshman.
Yeah, first home run of the career, home run here at home for Morris. And Morris playing that DH spot the last, I guess this is going on the sixth game. Oh, actually almost about eighth game he's been in that DH spot for CIU, starting with that Milligan series last week. And then was there in that spot in the Morris College series, and then also in the Tennessee Wesleyan series this weekend. There's a big swing by Morris. So yeah, I think he's still looking for the fences here.
He definitely is. I was surprised he laid off of that one. It looked like a curveball, but it hung in the air a little too long. I'm surprised his bat didn't crush that one.
So here's the 1-2 pitch, and that is hit in the gap. So Morris starts out well as Hammonds shows the speed, and that'll be a RBI single for Brenton Morris as the Rams tie this one up at 3 apiece. Morris over at first now.
He's scored every time that he's made contact with it.
As Hacklin up now for CIU. So Morris, if I'm not mistaken, batting 100 today.
Yes, sir. Sure is. He
2 for 2.
RBI and then a solo shot.
So Ramsey, who is a sophomore for Bob Jones, having a good day at the plate, and then Brenton Morris, a freshman. So young guys making a difference here for both these teams early on. 0-1 count against Ward Hacklin. Hacklin, local kid. That is ball 1. Hacklin from just down the road in Irmo. As that one dropped in there for strike 2. So 1-2 count now. So Dunwoody doing his best to not allow any more runs in this inning as Hacklin smacks one to left field, and that's gone.
Nice.
So the second home run of the game for CIU is a 2-run homer from Ward Hacklin. So that'll be 2 earned runs that go down against Dunwoody and 2 RBIs for Hacklin.
Yeah, if you're Coach JJ, you gotta love this position you're in right now because Bob Jones does not have anybody warming up in their arm barn, and the bats are cracking right now.
Yeah, Corbett, I think that both of these midweek games like this, these guys go all game, or close to it.
Yeah.
Just because you're trying to save arms for the weekend.
Most definitely.
With these weekend series. Now, obviously, Bob Jones is not a conference. I believe they're joining the USA South, and I don't know if they're full members in 2 years or next year, but or I'm not sure they'll be in the USA South, but in a Division III conference here shortly. So they'll obviously have some of the similar things that CIU faces with these weekend series coming up when they join the NCAA.
Yeah, and I'm sure all the Bob Jones fans are probably looking at their future competition to stake out if they're going to have a season kind of like ours where they're going to play about 5 of the top 10 teams in the first couple weeks of their season, or if they're going to have a more even spread season and their conference could be lighter or stronger.
Yeah, not as familiar with the Division III conferences down here in the Southeast, but obviously baseball in the Southeast and college overall is pretty good. No matter what level you're playing at.
Without a doubt.
So 3-0. And that gets in there for a strike. So 3-1 now. So Dunwoody, nobody on, but see if he can sit down Robert Bell. That is fouled off. So 3-2 now. One out on the board. The Rams already scored 4 runs in this inning after a big 3-run inning, as that is hit off the wall, and Bell will get a stand-up double as Rob Bell smacks one off that right field wall out there. Alex Miller at bat now for CIU. So the Rams having a big inning here in the bottom of the third with 4 runs, and now a runner on second in Robert Bell as Alex Miller at bat, the lefty from McBee, South Carolina, came to CIU by the way of, now I'm forgetting either USC Sumter or USC, I believe it was USC Union, that's right, as there'll be an out over there at first as Rob Bell will advance on the fielder's choice. So Hadley,
another freshman playing in his 12th game of the year.
So Hadley at the plate for the Rams. Bell over there at third. That's outside for strike two. So 0-2 count here.
Dunwoody's looking to close out this inning with his first strikeout of the game. He has a chance to do it right here.
Hadley gets a lot underneath that one, as I think that will fall outside the fence, and it will. So 0-2 still. Bell over there at third.
Hadley's not going to go down easy, though. He's got a lot to prove in this.
This is the 0-2 pitch here, and that is fouled up.
Heads up.
That is fouled off. Oh, still 0-2, so good battle here between Hadley and Dunwoody. That is fouled off. Once again, fouled off. So, again, a good battle here, Corbett, between Hadley and Dunwoody.
Yeah, Hadley's looking for his third hit on the year, and he, granted, only has played in 11 games. He is definitely doing everything he can to try to get another hit on that stat sheet.
And well, we'll see here as
it was a close one.
That was close there at first, but called out. So good job there by the shortstop, as Hadley thrown out at first. So CIU gets 4 runs in the bottom of the third inning, as the Rams up 5-3. Back just a minute here on the top of the fourth inning. So back here at Miller Field as all one start things off. This is Mason Lynch making his first appearance of the season. The lefty out of Florence, South Carolina. So 1-1 count here as that is ball 2 for Lynch. That hit to Hackland, so a 4-3. Excuse me, hit to Hadley over there at second base. So 4-3 out made. So 1 out on the board for CIU.
Seems like he might have made some weird contact on that, like it might have been a little close to his hands. He kind of yelled out, and it definitely had a weird sound when it came off the bat.
That is hit well high and caught in right field. So fly out there to bring up out number 2 as Corbett sun's starting to set here at Miller Field. And a little bit getting a little cooler out as well as we are in early March, but both of us in short sleeves. You're in shorts, obviously, as a Midwest guy. This is like midsummer to you.
Yeah, I am hoping it's going to warm up, though. There is a reason I came to South Carolina.
Yeah, this weekend, I think I saw the high on Saturday is 88 degrees.
What a time I chose to go back to Ohio.
So, as that is fouled off for, that's actually going to be a fly out to first base. So that will end the top of the 4th inning. So we will head to the bottom of the 4th with CIU up 5-3 here on the CIU Sports Network.
Welcome back to the CIU Sports Network. We'll be getting underway of the bottom of the 4th inning. Maldonado really gets a hold of that one, sends it over to the Welcome to Miller Field sign. If I'm not mistaken, that might be his second one out that direction. Up to bat for the 3rd time is Carter Willis. If you missed it in his last at bat, he made it to home on the RBI from Josh Hernandez. After hitting a double.
So 1-1 is our count with Maldonado over there on second base after the double from him to left field. Willis shows bunt, and that'll be foul, so 1-2 count here.
I was kind of surprised to see a bunt attempt there. It's going to make the throw for either infielder that gets it a shorter pass to third or first as opposed to a runner going to second.
Still maybe be able to advance that runner over to third, putting him closer in scoring position at least. Also, Carter Willis, one of the few guys that you'll actually see bunt on this team. Don't see that often from these these Coach JJ squads, but Willis will bunt from time to time as nice, well-placed hit from Carter Willis for the RBI single as CIU goes up 6-3 as Maldonado will advance all the way from second over to home.
He hit a nice gap on that. The only thing that could have made that better is if he hit it just a little deeper. That left outfielder is way inward. I think if he tried to ride that line a little more, but nothing to complain about. He got an RBI and he's sitting on first.
And Willis always looking to extend plays on the throw. It thought about going to second there. Definitely one of the fastest guys in the Appalachian Athletic Conference for sure. And probably one of the fastest guys in the NCCAA as well. As that is a strike. So 0-1 our count here. Big swing and a miss from Hernandez makes it 0-2.
Carter's dying to get to that second plate.
Yeah, Carter definitely led the conference in stolen bases last year. And that is gone. So third home run of the game for CIU, as that will make the score 8-3 now on the two-run homer from Josh Hernandez, career home run leader for the CIU Rams.
Took a look over at their arm barn, and they do have somebody warming up for Bob Jones right now. See how much longer Dunwoody can stay out there.
So Grant Bodison coming up now for CIU. And Coach Castillo will talk with Dunwoody on the mound. And they will discuss after that Hernandez home run. So we'll take a quick break here and be back with you in just a minute on the CIU Sports Network. So after the conversation, Dunwoody stays on the mound as no outs, 2 runs scored in this inning. If you're Bob Jones, got to take every batter one at a time. Am I right, Corbett?
Yeah, most definitely. And Dunwoody shouldn't be hanging his head too much on this game. He's a sophomore. He's only pitched 8 innings coming into this game. So playing against a heavy-hitting Rams lineup like we have, he shouldn't feel too much shame. He's not pitched too bad. We've just really connected on some of these and went yard a couple times.
So 1-1 count now against Bodison. Again, if CIU can get up by 10 runs in the 7th inning, then the game would conclude. Obviously only up by 5 right now, so halfway there. But again, no outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning as that gets away from Dunwoody. And that is ball 3. So maybe try to avoid the walk here after giving up the home run. But sometimes you might need a batter to get calmed back down a little bit after the home run, and Bodison is walked, so runner on first.
I was able to scope out who they had warming up, and it looks like it's going to be David Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, is that right?
I think it's a different Dave Chappelle, but yeah, David Chappelle warming up in the bullpen for Bob Jones. This is Bryn Morris, who hits one to center field where it is caught for the out. So that is out number 1 for Bob Jones.
My apologies if I'm not pronouncing that right. It could be David Chappell or David Chappelle.
I believe it's pronounced Chappelle.
I would say so.
Here, we can see if there's a...
Regardless, he's warming up for the Bob Jones bullpen.
This is Ward Hacklin up now for CIU. That is fouled off for strike 1. This will be a good bounce-back game for CIU, obviously, if they can hold on to the lead. We still have a lot of baseball left to play, as 0-2 now against Hacklin. And it really comes down to that pitching staff for the Rams. Not only can you put runs on the board, but keep the Bruins quiet as you have the last inning at least.
Yeah, this game most definitely is not only a bounce-back game for CIU, but this could really be the start of something hot because they've made it through the hardest part of their season. So looking forward, they really have a chance to get their way back to the top of the conference.
Yeah, definitely. I think once you get through this Reinhardt series, as that is hit to left field, and it will stay fair. So that'll be a double for Ward Hacklin. So runners on second and third now as Ward Hacklin doubles to left field. Grant Bodison looked like he may have come up a little gimpy there on the run from over to third base. Hopefully he's okay. See, he might be stretching it out here. I think Coach Johnson is checking on him. Rob Bell back up now for the Rams. And, yeah, Corbett, I think once you get, as I was saying, yeah, obviously really difficult start to the season, but you kind of hit that, it's not quite halfway, but close to it with Reinhardt coming up. And, you know, get through them. They're tough, a really good team in the AAC, obviously in the top 25 in the past few years. But, yeah, get through that Reinhardt series, and then I think it really you control your own destiny from there on out.
Yeah, most definitely. Looking ahead for the Rams, they only have the Reinhardt series that starts on March 4th. that series, after that, they don't play another ranked team until April 22nd. But they are playing Georgia Gwinnett College, who is currently the #1 ranked team in the country.
And I would say, I mean, I watched some of the games between Georgia Gwinnett and Tennessee Wesleyan. I believe that was 2 weeks ago. And I think, that was a 13-7 win by Tennessee Wesleyan. And CIU played Tennessee Wesleyan pretty well this past week. I know they lost 3-0 in the series, but overall wasn't too bad, as 3-1 is our count now.
Yeah, and especially once you get to that point in the season, making it all the way up to April 22nd, I mean, we could be looking at two entirely different teams by then, because
Right.
Georgia Gwinnett could either stay hot like they're looking right now, or they could fall off, and we could do the same thing.
Yeah, and it's really just important as Robert Bellis walked to load the bases here with Alex Miller coming up. So 1 out, bases loaded. And Corbett, getting to the conference tournament and having a chance to win there is what's important. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. Looks like we may have a pitching change coming here for Bob Jones. So Alex Miller at bat with the bases loaded, trying to add some more runs to the board for the Rams, as Chappelle, I'm not sure, we've had a couple different pronunciations over here. I'm just going to go ahead and say Chappelle, as
I would say the same thing. I'm looking forward to seeing him pitch. I'm sure he's excited to get to it. Right now, the stat sheet says that this is his first time pitching this season, so I'm hoping that he can get something together. Maybe we'll see some exciting baseball.
Yeah, so 2-0 now, and before we took a quick break there, Corbett, I was talking about, once you get in that conference tournament, anything can really happen. So that's the goal, get, even if maybe you're not one of the top 4 teams in the conference, put yourself in a position that, you can navigate through that conference tournament, similarly to we saw men's basketball do this week when last week now, as they won 3 games in the conference tournament, made it all the way to the conference semifinals before losing to Montreat.
Yeah, they were most definitely playing some good basketball down the stretch. But on the baseball subject, I think that the main key that CIU needs to focus on before they get to any kind of conference tournament is just kind of get comfortable with your pitching, because we saw it out of Tennessee Wesleyan this last weekend, and it didn't look too bad, especially from Justin Parrish and Brett Collins right out the gate. But you're going to have to get deeper, and you're going to be playing teams like that once it gets to the tournament. So it's not going to be any easy games.
Yeah, another young guy that I've been impressed with early on the mound for CIU, as Miller is walked, and that'll add a run for the Rams as Bodison gets across. So 2-1. Is our count here with the bases loaded. That will drop down. This is Hadley at the plate for CIU. Miller over at first. As there's a strike, so Chappelle looking for his first strikeout of the game.
He is a freshman, and if the stat sheet's correct, this is his first game pitching, so this could be his first strikeout of his career. Oh, at the very least, he's looking for it.
So that'll be another walk, makes the score 10-3. So if you're Bob Jones, just trying to get out of this inning by any means possible, maybe put one in play, try to get the double play opportunity, because if you keep walking these batters, then no opportunities to get any outs. At least if it's in the field, you have an opportunity to put someone out and get out of the inning.
Yeah, he's going to have to put it in the strike zone if he's going to try to contest any of these batters. They just like that.
That'll probably be a sac fly. And
sometimes
it will be, as Rob Bell scores.
Sometimes you're going to have to make that kind of sacrifice. Let your fielders get you guys off the field and come back next inning and get your confidence back up. To be fair, when he came to the mound, there were already several batters on plate, on bases. Might have been full at the time. I can't remember exactly.
So Carter Willis now at bat with runners on second and first and second. Alex Miller over there on second. Hadley on first. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 11-3. A score now after that sac fly. So Rams have added 6 runs here in the bottom of this 4th inning. So 10 of their 11 runs have come in these past 2 innings, the 3rd and the 4th inning. So 2 outs on the board as Willis will chop that one to second base, and the out is made at second by the shortstop. So we will head to the top of the 5th with CIU up 11-3 in this NCCAA matchup between Bob Jones and CIU. We'll be back shortly here on the CIU Sports Network. So Ramsey will lead off here for Bob Jones. Some other games going on in the Appalachian Athletic Conference today.
Yeah.
And Corbett's going to fill us in on that.
Yeah, to have a look at some of our very close upcoming opponents. Union beat Campbellsville today in 8 innings by a score of 10-0, and Milligan lost to Cumberland 7-8. Those games will both be played, I think, within the next of our 4 opponents.
Well, Milligan, we just played Milligan last week, and then, but yeah, so Union coming up right after spring break will be that first conference series after spring break. That's inside from Lynch for ball 2. So 2-2 count now, as that's well outside. Ramsey, if I'm not mistaken, has had a decent day. Yeah, he's 2 for 2 so far.
He has reached the plate, too.
And good catch there from Chase Hadley for the out, as Hogan back up now for Bob Jones. There's the pitch from Lynch. Makes it 1-0.
Hogan for Bob Jones looking for his first hit on the night. Both of his at-bats have ended in strikeouts.
There's strike one for 1-1. Pitch now. Excuse me, 0-2. As that gets away from Hernandez. So count at 1-2 now. And Lynch picks up the strikeout, so good job there by Mason Lynch to add another out on the board.
That's Lynch's first strikeout of his college career.
It is, as this is his first game that he has played, intercollegiate game at the varsity level for CIU, as that is well outside.
It's exciting to see a couple freshmen in this game make an impact for the team.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that is going to be a fly out to right field and caught to send us to the bottom of the inning. So when we come back, the Rams up to bat with CIU leading 11-3. Here's the pitch, and popped up there by Hernandez. Caught for the first out of the inning. Again, if CIU can add 2 runs here and keep Bob Jones off the board before the 7th inning, and they can get into the 7th inning up 10, then after the top of the 7th, CIU would win by a run rule. As Bodison, nice hit there from the shortstop, and he's able to run it out.
Almost made a nice play out there at shortstop, but we've got athletes that can run the bases pretty well.
A good hit there by Bodison, right in the gap. But yes, it was a good play out there by the shortstop to at least get his glove on it.
Morrison's looking to continue into his big game so far. He's 2 for 3 on the night with 2 hits, 2 runs, and a homer.
So that's ball 1. Yeah, and Morris, see if he can bring in Bodison with one of those deep shots. Obviously, Bodison sort of deceptively fast out there on the base path. Not a guy that really think about as being super quick, but he can certainly move as there's a pass ball, and Bodison will get over to second on the pass ball.
Yeah, Bodison being a home run hitter on the season, batting .246. On top of being a great base runner, him and Carter Willis both make for outstanding batters. That's exactly what you would want at this level, somebody who's consistent at hitting the ball but running the bases as well as they do.
Yeah, and a guy like Carter Willis and Bodison, both who are good fielders as well. Obviously, Carter staple out there at center. And we were just talking about that the other day with, I think Carter made an error. We're like, that's the first error I think we've seen Carter make in a CIU jersey. So
most definitely. I was very surprised to see that.
That off the chest of Barcina. So 3-1 our count here. There's strike two against Morris.
Will bring us to a full count, and I think Chappelle is still looking for his first strikeout. So again, he's been up. Ooh, he missed the mark on that one.
Yeah, well outside there, but a good job from Barcina to get out there and snag that. Keep Bell over there on second. Oh, excuse me, Bodison over there on second from advancing as Ward Hacklin up to the plate now for CIU.
Yeah, Bodison would have made him pay if he had made an error there, but he really snagged that one in.
That's in the dirt, and Bodison thought about going over there at second, but he will stay put for the time being. Yeah, and Hacklin with a home run and a double earlier in this game. That drops down for strike one, so 1-1 count now. Again, runners over there on first and at second. That's outside for ball two. So Hacklin just joining the team this year, but it's made a large impact for the Rams already this season. Hacklin, a JUCO college player and played at the Division II level. 3-1 now is our count.
A little update on the Bob Jones bullpen. It looks like Nicholas Cortez is warming up. He has He has pitched only one inning so far in this season, so also going to be seeing another new pitcher.
Hacklin that'll be fouled off for strike two, so 3-2 count now. As Robert Bell on deck for the Rams. That is going to stay. That was foul, but definitely a opportunity over there by the first baseman maybe lost it in the lights a little bit here at Miller Field.
There's been multiple times in this past inning that I've seen a full count on the board. They're really working this pitcher. They're not letting him off easy. 1 inning pitch, 24 pitches.
And there's the first strikeout for Chappelle of the game. So he sits down Ward Hacklin as Robert Bell at bat now for CIU. That is hit well into the air, and that is going to be an error that will allow 1 run to score to make it 12-3 as CIU up by 9 runs here in the bottom of the inning. So a couple high hit balls here, Corbett, in the bottom of this inning that Bob Jones just has not been able to locate, as that is going to be a ground out to first by Alex Miller. But for whatever reason, Bob Jones just not able to find those balls in the lights of Miller Field as CIU tacks on 1 more in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll be back on the CIU Sports Network with CIU up 9 runs against Bob Jones University. So a couple changes for CIU in their lineup as Rodriguez into pitch on the mound now for the Rams, as that is strike 1. Also a change in the outfield as Shane Hammonds as that is going to be a nice play there by Chase Hadley over to first, as Shane Hamm is in for Carter Willis in center field, and then Deuce Bailey is in the game for Josh Hernandez at catcher. So a couple changes for the Rams. And that is going to be fouled over to the CIU softball field. Corbett, I thought that might be heading towards one of those lights up there. So they're quite expensive lights.
Yeah, our good friend Scotty tried to convince me that those were solar lights before this game. I almost believed him.
It would save a lot of money if those were solar lights, I'd tell you that much. As I'll say that is foul after the ball bounces off the leg of Barcina. So drop third strike as Barcina will advance to first.
The pitching change for CIU, in came Rodrigo Rodriguez, the freshman out of Panama. Got runners on second and first. Count is 0-1, 2 outs. Rodrigo not looking bad too far throughout this game. He's got 1 strikeout already in only this inning pitched. Watching that ball, it looks like it's coming in with some heat. It's breaking a little bit. For a freshman, it looks pretty solid, being only one of his first games of the season. He has 3 appearances coming into this one. That'll make the count 1-2. That'll bring the count to 2-2. He's trying to close out this inning, get his second strikeout.
So Corbett, I took a break there to find out the number of who's pinch running out there on second. I could not see, and it's Nikita Zafanis, the outfielder from New Jersey, but that will end the top of the 6th inning. So the Rams trying to add one more here in the bottom of the 6th to at least get it to 10 runs, where then they could end the game in the top of the 7th. We'll be back here in just a minute on the CIU Sports Network. So back here at the bottom of the 6th inning, Chase Hadley up to bat now for CIU. Hopefully we'll get to see some of these guys that just got in the lineup in the last inning up to bat for the Rams a little bit. As one of those guys, Shane Hammonds, on deck for CIU.
Hadley so far today is 0 for 1, but he did get a sac fly. It says he has an RBI.
That's right. He had that, I believe that was in the last inning, as Hadley, one of those guys, freshman, you know, a guy you hope to have around the program for a long time with the contribution he's made already this season just as a first-year player for CIU. So 2-0 is our count in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Rams up by 9, 12-3, as that is outside.
So through these last couple innings, this last inning I should say, the Rams got a little more conservative. They did make a couple changes in their lineup, so we should see a couple more batters playing in this one. But they definitely weren't swinging for the fences as much in the bottom of the 5th, I believe it was. Yeah, the bottom of the 5th. So we might go the full 9 innings today. It depends.
Yeah, we'll see how things shape out here in the bottom of the 6th as Hadley is walked. So he does represent that run that would put the Rams up 10. But Coach Castile is going to talk with his pitcher. I didn't see anyone warming up over there, but there may have been someone in the bullpen for Bob Jones.
It looks like somebody might be standing in there, but
yeah, somebody's coming out now. Number 33, it looks like.
Yep.
This is Nicholas Cortez.
Yeah, he's been out there for quite a while. He should be pretty warm.
Cortez, the freshman from, I'm definitely going to mispronounce this. I'm going to guess the P is silent. Pflugerville, Texas.
That's how I would say it. Yeah, Nicholas Cortez has one appearance so far in this season, but oddly enough, the stats sheet says he's only pitched 1 inning, but the Ethan Rogers on their stat sheet has pitched 2 innings, and they say that he's below the minimum requirement. So, interesting. stat sheet, but looking to see Nicholas Cortez kind of get into his own, only pitching 1 inning so far.
And for Bob Jones, a lot of these guys, freshmen and sophomore, as this is only a second-year program. We'll talk a little bit more about that after the break as Rams up 12-3 on the CIU Sports Network. Back on the CIU Sports Network as Cortez pitching now for the Bruins. And Corbett, this is, I don't know if you're aware of this, is only a second-year program in Bob Jones. Only had baseball for 2 years.
I was not aware of that.
So a lot of freshmen and sophomore in this lineup for the Bruins. Obviously, what JJ or Coach Johnson was able to accomplish here at CIU in their short amount of time with this program, obviously the third year for the Rams, pretty unusual. I think Bob Jones, of course, taking a little bit of the normal course for a first year or second year program.
Yeah, for sure. I think we definitely had a really good foundation. We had a lot of support behind our baseball program, which Bob Jones does too. You're just going to have to go through some of these growing pains when you're starting out like this. We were just, blessed with the circumstances we had.
And there's an error by the pitcher, which will advance the runner over to second. So no outs here for Bob Jones. As that's a ground ball, and the 6-3 out made there by the shortstop. So runner on third is Hadley, who advanced from first to second on the failed pickoff attempt, and then advanced from second to third on the pass ball. So Rams trying to add a run here in the bottom of the sixth. This is Hammonds at bat for CIU. This is him at of the game. That is well high for ball one. So 1-1 our count now.
Hammond's the senior only having 14 at-bats. Hammond's the senior only having 14 at-bats, already has 5 RBIs on the year. So he's started out pretty hot. He's looking to make more of a resume to keep himself in the lineup.
Yeah, Hammond's a guy that has contributed a lot in his 3 years at CIU. Has DH some, played in the outfield some, used as a pinch runner a lot, as that's fouled off. So, and Hammond's a very capable guy at the plate. Got a pretty big bat as well. Seen him hit quite a few home runs here at Miller Field during his career.
Most definitely. Sometimes you're just going to see these types of players. Like our batting lineup is full of really good hitters, so it's going to be hard to make that final cut for the the 9 batters.
Yeah, similar type player, I think, to Rob Bell in some ways. Guy that's a big hitter that plays in the outfield. And then obviously, so Bell is there in that space. And then now with Ward Hackland, who does some similar stuff. And then Carter Willis, not quite the power hitter, but got to have him at the top of your lineup to get on base, early in that lineup.
Absolutely.
And obviously we know all that Carter can do on the base pass and then how reliable he is at center field. Hammond's batting in that spot, though, for Willis. That's who he came in for us. He is struck out in his first at-bat. So Deuce Bailey coming up now. Bailey come in for Josh Hernandez at the catcher spot. Bailey, another guy that, is in the lineup from time to time. Hernandez, especially when Hernandez pitches, is when you see Bailey in the lineup.
Most definitely. You'll see a lot of love for Deuce. He's definitely one of the fan favorites. He's a senior making his 11th at-bat on the season.
And that is hit way back and caught in left field. So that will end the inning with the CIU up 12-3 over Bob Jones. We'll be back with the top of the 7th just a bit on the CIU Sports Network. Chad Bain up to bat now for Bob Jones. And we've had a pitching change as Dale Seelbach will come in for CIU.
There's a lot to look forward to with Dean Seelbach. He's a sophomore, and he's pitched through 9 innings so far and already has 11 strikeouts this season.
It's a good play over there at shortstop by Bodison. Sometimes you're impressed with how effortless Bodison looks out there in the infield. So Riley Ramsey back up for Bob Jones. Ramsey, the most productive, well, arguably, I guess, the most productive batter today for Bob Jones.
Yeah, if you're Bob Jones, you got to really hope that he's building off of this for the rest of the season because he's played pretty well today. He had a rough start of the season before this game, but he's definitely been probably their best batter of the day.
So 1-0 count now as that was ball one. Seelbach standing tall on that mound. I think Seelbach is listed at right around 6'6", 6'7", as that's fouled off. So Seelbach now with the opportunity for his first strikeout of the game. As that is going to get by Hernandez. Excuse me, by Bailey, the catcher. And there's a big swing and a miss from Ramsey. That'll make it strike two. 2-2 count now. So now Seelbach with the opportunity for the strikeout.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see if Seelbach, if he can hit his groove, he should be able to finish this game out.
And that goes over the head of Ramsey, just ducked underneath it. Obviously, if he'd stood tall there, probably would have taken that on the left side of the helmet.
And that would have been our 4th of the game. Very wild.
And that is going to be hit to right field and caught. So well hit ball there by Ramsey, but that will go down as a fly out to right field as Hogan at bat now for Bob Jones.
Hogan is 0 for 3 in the night. He's looking for his first hit. And if I was him, I would think this would be a great opportunity to do it. But it's going to be hard to do it when you let a meatball down the middle of the plate go right past you. That'll bring the count to 1-1. It's a good eye on that one to lay off. It was a close one.
So 1-1 count here against Hogan. That'll be low for ball 2. And again, Seelbach looking for his first strikeout of the game still. So this is pitcher number 4 for CIU. As that is fouled up and caught for the third out here in the 7th inning. So we will head to the bottom of the 7th with the Rams with a chance to go up 10 here at Miller Field. Be back in just a minute on the CIU Sports Network. So Grant Bodison at the plate for the Rams. Thought about it, but will hold back for strike one now as Cortez up in the count 0-1. That's outside for the ball. 1-1 count now.
Go ahead.
Just a reminder that CIU baseball will be back in action on Friday as Bodison thrown out there at first. Rams back in action on Friday with an AAC series starting against Reinhardt Friday at 5 p.m. And then they'll play a doubleheader with the Eagles beginning at 1 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, I think Reinhardt's going to be a really good opponent for the CIU Rams with it kind of being still like a ranked good opponent, but not too far above our play level this early in the season because it seemed like we were a little outmatched. I think Reinhardt's definitely somebody we can take a couple wins from.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of easy to forget right now, but again, CIU starting the season receiving votes in that NAIA top 25 poll, so the Rams sitting just outside of the top 25. Obviously, that'll most likely change when the next poll comes out. But then, again, it's kind of the question, Corbett, of CIU easily could be sitting above 500 right now if they wanted to. If they didn't choose to play all the top 10 teams that they play early in the season, as Cortez makes it 2-2 against Morris.
Yeah, despite the record, they did come away with a couple wins against those opponents, but you got to play all of them more than once, and it's a lot to ask that early in the season.
Certainly, obviously, you play a team like Kaiser 4 times at Kaiser. Obviously, steal 1 from the number 8 team in the country, but obviously lose 3, so that's difficult. Probably the biggest win, honestly, coming at that Southeast Rumble tournament against number 6 Faulkner. That's just a 1 game to get that one win over the number 6 team in the NAIA. Pretty important for Coach Jonathan Johnson's team.
Most definitely.
Ward Hacklin on deck for CIU. And there's a big swing and a miss from Morris as that'll make it.
Yeah, Morris is kind of taking these swings without any kind of repercussions. He's swinging for the fences to try to get this game over with at the end of the 7th because he got his today for sure. He got a home run. He's been pretty successful on the plate so far.
Yeah, and Ward Hacklin, I don't know why he's showing up at the stats the way he is. I think because he usually wears number 3, and so that changed to number 39, doing something funky with the live stats. But Hacklin obviously homered already in this game, so he certainly could end it with the walk-off homer in the 7th. But obviously if you're the Rams, just focus on getting on base. Here up 12-3 over the Bruins. One-two count now.
I think that if he'd have taken that kind of hack on the last pitch, it probably would have hit the scoreboard. It was right where he would have wanted it, but he laid off of it.
So Hacklin now facing the 1-2 count, and that is going to go back and unable to make the catch in center field. So that may go down as a triple, and it will for Ward Hacklin, who gives a look over to his dugout after honestly, about the most well-hit ball that didn't go over the fence today, probably.
Yeah, I would say so. And if you're Rob Bell about to go up into the box, oddly enough, even though you're up 12-3, you definitely feel a sense of urgency because you can end this game if you can just bring Hacklin in from third.
And you talked about the spacing of those outfielders early on, Corbett, and that one was hit right there in between center and right field by Hacklin, who's a right-handed guy. So, center field is playing a little farther over.
Yeah, I've noticed that. And if you recall back to a couple other of the hits that have hit the fence, they've hit the "Welcome to Miller Field" sign, and there's a huge gap between center field and left field.
Yeah, and obviously right now, now Rob Bell is up, so you're gonna shift your outfield over a little bit, but certainly, yeah, with Ward being able to hit that gap where most righties aren't able to hit it to, pretty impressive from him. And that is hit to left field, and that may drop, and it will. And so CIU will get the 13-3 victory over Bob Jones on the left field shot from Robert Bell to bring home. And see, coaches may discuss, and they may go full 9. And so it will be a 7-inning game as the Rams win 13-3 over Bob Jones in 7 innings. So CIU moves to 7-14 on the season so far. And again, we'll be back on the CIU Sports Network on Friday as the Rams take on Reinhardt.